We have a scary Precious Achiuwa injury update, and this has big implications as this does not look good for the New York Knicks, who have had a sputtering defense, who have not been able to figure things out with Karl-Anthony Towns and Jericho Sims not exactly providing what Mitchell Robinson or Precious Achiuwa bring defensively to the team, and we're going to break this down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video. If I look like hell, I am a little sick, and I also just woke up, but it's all right. We're powering through it. Guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel. 28% of viewers are subscribed. It'll help us out a lot. It's the holiday season. Be in the season of giving. Give your subscription to the New York Knicks Digest. But for real, Precious Achiuwa, as broken by Ian Begley, he hasn't been cleared for contact yet. I mean, he hurt his hamstring nearly over 2 weeks ago now, and we're still yet to see Precious return to contact, which really shows that he's probably not going to be back in the month of November, and if he is, it's going to be the tail end of this. And this is worrisome for the New York Knicks fans because the Knicks defense has not been very good this year. This is a team that runs on defense and just does not have a good defense thus far throughout the season. Now, I know it's early and the Knicks can easily figure things out, and it will help if Mikal Bridges can get his stuff together on the defensive end, which one has to imagine will happen. The man's role has consistently changed over the last few years, whether it's with the Nets or the Phoenix Suns. Now he's on the Knicks. He's been getting moved around a lot, and his role keeps changing. But going into things, as we saw from RotoWire, they mentioned that Achiuwa has yet to make a season debut and isn't really practicing yet, suggesting his return to game action won't come for at least a few more weeks. Jericho Sims has been operating as the Knicks' backup center to Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, I've said a lot about Jericho Sims in the past. Clearly, you guys can understand one thing. I'm not the biggest Jericho Sims supporter in the world. Look, I don't mean to bash Jericho Sims, and he has been playing better as the season's gone on. His offensive rebounding has looked kind of nice, but he just doesn't bring the rim protection that a guy like Jericho Sims should be bringing, and it's getting worrisome because the Knicks defense is falling off a cliff. We're yet to see Tom Thibodeau put Karl-Anthony Towns and Jericho Sims out on the floor together, which I don't understand why, if I'm being honest. Like, Towns, we know, can play the four. I don't know why we don't try it out if we're going to see Jericho Sims and Precious Achiuwa share the floor at sometimes, or we've seen Jericho share the floor with Ariel Hukporti. Why are we not seeing him share the floor with the big man who's the best three-point shooting big man in basketball? It doesn't really make much sense to me, but it is what it is. Guys, with Jericho Sims, he's just having an underwhelming season. I know he's not getting great minutes, and that's a big part of it, but in 12 minutes per game, he's only putting up 1 point, 3.5 rebounds, only getting 0.4 blocks per game. The true shooting's all right. The field goal percentage is nice. There's just not that much to be thrilled by with Jericho Sims, and one thing we know is that Precious Achiuwa will be better than him in comparison. Like, Precious is a solid player for the Knicks. Since getting to the Knicks, Precious has looked really good. I mean, when he started last season, in all the games that he started, he put up 10 points per game with 11 rebounds, shot over 50% from the field, got a block per game. We've seen him be very good for the Knicks, and he was playing mainly the power forward role next to Isaiah Hartenstein when Julius Randle went down with the injury. Wow, just saying that and looking at this Knicks roster feels funny. But they're just all, they're gone. New team, and Precious would fit so well with Karl-Anthony Towns. You have to imagine Tibbs is going to put them out there together. Precious can cover for Towns' lack of defense. Towns can play more on the perimeter, which is where he's more comfortable, and he's actually a better perimeter defender than post defender. No clue why that is, but it's the case. So you have to imagine that Precious will help the Knicks defense a lot. I mean, the man held Joel Embiid to 1 point in the fourth quarter of Game 4 in the playoffs last season, getting a huge block on him, and then, Knicks fans took over Wells Fargo Center, and then, we beat the Sixers again in Wells Fargo Center. Yeah, Sean Bernard, I know your whole team was injured, but we still did it. Shout out to Sean Bernard of Sixers Digest, he's the man. But Precious Achiuwa in the playoffs last year put up 5.2 points and 4.2 rebounds with 1.3 blocks in 9 games. The man looked good. His stats were a little wonky because there was a game where he only played 4 minutes, but he has been good for the New York Knicks. Throughout last season, he put up 7.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. Now, his numbers, they got a little bit better on the Knicks. We've seen him get more comfortable in the Tibbs offense than he was in Darko Rajakovic's offense. So we're seeing some growth from Precious, and he's going to be very helpful to this team moving forwards while I take a sip of tea because my throat hurts. All right, back to action. Look, Precious is good. He's just flat out a good player. He's not going to change everything for the team, but he's good. And when you have a good player, you got to find ways to use Precious Achiuwa. Unfortunately, you can't use Precious Achiuwa right now because of his injury. Now, Daily Knicks discussed his injury. Shout out Daily Knicks, and said, it's been 25 days since the Knicks announced Achiuwa strained his hamstring and would be reevaluated in 2 to 4 weeks. So basically, it's almost been 4 weeks. Hamstring injuries are tricky, so it's not surprising that it sounds as if Achiuwa is still a few weeks away from returning. However, it's not a good sign for the team's struggling defense. New York's defensive rating through the first 11 games of the season is 114.4, which is 20th in the league. It's not typical for a Tom Thibodeau team to be negative on the defensive end. And clearly, I think that's having an impact on the Knicks. I think it's hard to say it's not having an impact on the Knicks. Look, Tom Thibodeau is an excellent defensive coach. The problem is, when the defense isn't working, the Knicks have a very freelance offense under Tom Thibodeau. So you're banking on this freelance offense to go out there and carry you to wins. And we've seen the Knicks go 5-6, as you can see right there because of it. Now, luckily, the Eastern Conference sucks this season. So being 5-6 means you get to be 4th in the Eastern Conference right now, which is great for us. And I do think the Knicks are going to bounce back. I think they're going to be just fine. And I don't think it's just because of that. They have two very important defenders on their team, and Precious Achiuwa and Mitchell Robinson both injured. Also, I am going to have a Mitchell Robinson injury update coming out either later today or tomorrow. There's a Nets game which throws things off, but it'll get out. And essentially, guys, Tibbs needs these rim protectors for his defense to work. All defenses usually run through rim protectors to at least somewhat of a degree. It is the most long-standing skill in basketball. No matter what area you go to, rim protectors have been a vital part of defense and just of basketball in general. That has never changed. With all the evolution that basketball's gone through, teams have always needed a rim protector, and a Tom Thibodeau defense needs a rim protector. They don't have one in Towns. They don't really have one in Jericho Sims. Ariel Hukporti doesn't really get to play, but I am going to show the dunk again because I love this play. So it becomes this thing of, are you just going to wait it out and hope the defense gets better under Precious and Mitch? Or are you going to play Hukporti, which doesn't seem likely? Tibbs usually makes adjustments to the roster 15 to 20 games in. We're 11 games into the season right now, so we're going to probably give it 2.5 more weeks before we really see what adjustments Tibbs might make. Maybe he'll go with Hukporti. Maybe Precious comes back. Maybe we'll get another update on Mitch. All that we do know is that the New York Knicks, to get better, their rim protection has to be better. And to do that, you need a guy like a Precious Achiuwa. You need a guy like Mitchell Robinson specifically back. We need to see how the Knicks run these rotations. But if Precious can get back, the New York Knicks are going to be much better. And we also will then see if the Knicks have interest in trading him, which is always a possibility because of the contract. 1 year, $6 million, no trade clause is waived from what he should have had, so we can make a few more mil. We'll see what the Knicks do. Obviously, they're in less of a need for a center than they were a couple months ago before the Towns trade. But still, we'll see what the Knicks do. Let me know what you think the Knicks are going to do with Precious Achiuwa. Let me know if you think him coming back will help the defense. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.